Can we say amen? Let's bow our heads for prayer. Lord, we look to you for help. Our help cometh from the Lord which made the heavens and the earth. In times like this, we need Jesus. We pray that you draw nigh to your children and give them the comfort they need, even in this time of bereavement. In Jesus' name, amen. So the Bible says, teach us to number our days, that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom. Teach us to count down our years and not up, so we may be wise about living. Teach us to use our few days on earth wisely. Psalm 90, 1 to 12. David draws a contrast between God's infinitude and man's finitude. Between God's infinity and God's finite existence on earth, and makes an appeal to man. Lord, thou hast been our dwelling place in all generations. Before the mountains were brought forth, or ever thou had formed the earth and the world, even from everlasting to everlasting, thou art God. That's God. He says God is not only before time, being around in all generations, and around before the mountains were brought forth, but God is beyond time. Before, he is beyond time, because from everlasting to everlasting, he is God. Then he goes on and he says, thou turnest man to destruction, and sayest, return ye children of men. For 1,000 years in thy sight are but as yesterday, when it is past, and as a watch in the night. We're talking 1,000 years, a watch in the night. So he goes on to say that human life is under God's control, and times means nothing to him. For 1,000 years to him are like yesterday. He goes on, thou carriest them away as with a flood. They are as asleep. In the morning, he's describing us. In the morning, they are all like grass, which groweth up. In the morning, it flourisheth and groweth up. In the evening, it is cut down and wither away. That's us. In the morning, we flourish. In our youthfulness, we flourish. But in our old age, we wither and die in the evening. You got it, my sister. Thank you for that deaconess corner right there. I love you. 7 says, for we are consumed by thine anger, and by thy wrath we are troubled. Thou hast set our iniquities before thee, our secret sins in the light of thy countenance. Verse 9, for all our days are passed away in thy wrath. We spend our years as a tale that is told. A story that is told from the beginning to the end. And then we say, the end. He says our life on earth is very brief because of sin, and we are carried away like in a flood, or like a sleep, or like grass which flourisheth in the morning and in the evening is cut down and withers. We are consumed by his anger and troubled by his wrath, and all our days are passed away in his wrath, and we spend our years like a story told. The end. And then it goes on, verse 10. The days of our years are 80 years and 10. And if by reason of strength they are 80 years, yet is their strength labor and sorrow. For it is soon cut off, and we fly away. Who knoweth the power of thine anger? Even according to thy fear, so is thy wrath. So here we're dealing with, we are finite. The days of our years are 80 years and 10. And after that, it is all trouble and sorrows. And we are soon cut off. And we are no more. We have but a few days to live. And then, poof, we are gone. So what? And that's the question. Of all the description about us and about God, so what? Verse 12. So teach us to number our days, that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom. What does it mean? What does it mean to teach us to number our days? Oh, to help us understand that our days are numbered. To recognize that we don't have many days left in this world. To live with the consciousness that we can go anytime soon. It means because we are finite and our days are on earth are numbered. It means we have expiration date on our lives. Are you listening? And we are best used by 80. You didn't hear that, so let me say that. We have expiration date on our lives, and we are best used 80. After that, it's all troubles and sorrows, and we are soon cut off, and we are no more. So he says, teach us to use our few earthly days wisely. Teach us the markings on the food of the food industry, really the markings on the food industry products. Sometimes read, used best by such a date. It means the quality goes away. The quality goes way down after that date. When they place the expiration date on the food item or the meat, it means the meat is no good after that date. And they place it on the milk, it means the milk is no good after that date. So don't wait till expiration date. You may be of no use for God or anybody. So he says, teach us to count our expiration date right, so we may use our time wisely in this world. What I have realized among us is that we don't count our days right. See, that's what David is saying. So teach us to number, to count our days, that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom. So we need to count our days right. We need to number our days right. But I've realized that we don't count our days right. We count our days wrong. We count up and then eat cake, and ice cream, and feel good. You see, we are counting up. Oh, my birthday. I am 60 years old. Hooray! God has added one more year to my days. Cake, and ice cream. Are you still listening? That's fine, but we need to count it right. We need to count our days down sometimes and see the handwriting on the wall and feel the urgency of the hour and get our house in order. We need to count down our days sometimes and say, wow, I am 60 years old. That's 1 year closer to my expiration date. So teach us to number our days right, so we may apply our hearts unto wisdom. It says 10. So I'm 60 years old. That's 1 year closer to my expiration date. 10 years from 70. Somebody is closer. If we counted it right, then we will apply our hearts unto wisdom. If by any reason of strength they be 80 years, it's mostly troubles and sorrows and aches and pains, but thank God for Bengay. So teach us to number our days correctly, that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom, because our time on earth is short. Teach us not to waste it on foolishness, but to use it wisely for the glory of God. So we will learn to do right before it is too late. That we may be wise unto salvation in our living on this planet. Is somebody listening? There are some things we will not do and things we will do if we are conscious of the end of our days. If you knew your days are numbered, you won't have time for grudges. Am I talking to somebody? You will not have time for bitterness. If you knew your days are numbered, you will not have time for hatred and unforgiveness. A heart is a terrible thing to waste on malice and anger. And let me tell you something. Anger doesn't hurt your enemy. So quit the anger. It doesn't hurt your enemy. It destroys your own heart. And pretty soon you are on many on many high blood pressure medications. If you knew your days are numbered, you ask God to help you love everybody, even your enemies, and bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you, that you may be the children of your Father which is in heaven. For he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and the unjust. And you begin to reflect the character of your heavenly Father, because that's where you'll be going after your days are expired on this planet. Oh, if you knew your days are numbered, you will get your house in order. Make your calling and election sure. Confess your every sin, known and unknown. Come to church. Make it to prayer meeting. Give your life to Jesus. Be ready for the soon coming of Jesus. Oh, remember 9/11, when we thought that our days were numbered. Everybody went to church. Am I talking true? Everybody went to church because we thought our days were numbered. And then it took some time. And then we all fizzle out and stop going to church. Oh, we thought our days were numbered. And we all went to church. Then what happened? Now we think we have a few days more. If you knew your days are numbered, you will spend the rest of your days repenting, making sure there's nothing between you and the Savior. Nothing between the soul and the Savior. There's this poem that I saw here that I believe is appropriate at this time. It's called The Dash. The Dash by Linda Ellis. I read of a man spoke at the funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on the tombstone from the beginning to the end. He noted first the date of birth, then the date of death, and spoke of it with tears. But he said what mattered most of all was the dash between those years. For that dash represents all the time he spent alive on earth. And now only those who love him know what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars and the house and the cash. What matters is how we live and love and how we spend our dash. What matters is how you use your dash. Date of birth, dash. Date of death. What matters is the dash. How are you using your dash? So think about this long and hard. Are there things you would like to change? For you never know how much time is left that still can be redeemed, rearranged, to be less quick to anger and show appreciation and more love and love the people in your lives. We've never loved the people in your lives you've never loved before. If we treat each other with respect and more often wear a smile, remembering that this special dash might only last a little while. So when your eulogy is being read with your life's actions to rehash, would you be proud of the things they say about how you lived your dash? So David said, teach us to number our days. Teach us to number our dash, that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom. Teach us to consider our expiration date, so we will use our dash to prepare for the coming of the Lord. Teach us to understand our expiration date, so we can make our dash between birth and death meaningful on earth for the glory of God. So teach us to number our days, that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom, that we may get our house in order before it is too late, that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom, to give our lives unto God, to surrender our souls unto Jesus, and rest in Jesus when our time is come. So teach us to number our days, that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom. Teach us to use our few days wisely for the glory of God. Sometimes God has to take us through the crucible to purify us, to save us. Sometimes he allows pain to cleanse our souls. He prolongs our death enough to help us to make our calling and election sure, to make a full surrender unto God before he puts us to rest. Like the thief on the cross, to come face to face with Jesus in order to make our calling and election sure, and then rest in Jesus with the assurance of paradise. Our family members, Sister Fagan, Sister Mel, Yvonne, Devon, our family members may not understand why our loved ones have to go through pain and suffering And sometimes we look at things from the temporal perspective. But God allows the fires of pain and of the crucible to purify his saints in order to secure them for eternity. God does not put the gold in the fire to destroy it, but to purify it for his glory. The Bible says even Jesus learned obedience by the things which he suffered. Sometimes God put his children through the crucible to come out as gold tried in the fire. Fit them for their abode with the angels above. So weep not, family. Weep not, church family. Weep not, Sister Fagan. Weep not, Yvonne. Weep not, Merle. Weep not, Perry family, like those without hope. For God will save all his children who put their trust in him. Oh, I've read somewhere, 1 Thessalonians 4:14. For if we believe that Jesus died and rose again. How many of us believe that? I say, for if we believe that Jesus died and rose again, even so them also which sleep in Jesus will God bring with him. For this we say unto you, by the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are asleep. For the Lord himself. Oh, there are some things that God will have to send the prophet to do. But there are so many important things that God alone will do. Only God can do. Because only God could bring life back. He alone was the one who made us in his image and breathed in our nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. And so he alone can bring back life. And so the Bible stressed that point. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. So he says, comfort one another. These are the words of hope. Comfort one another with these words. So we weep not like those without hope. For we have hope. If in this world, all we have to do is to come and eat and drink, and tomorrow we die, then we are of all men most miserable. But we have hope. We believe in Jesus, that he died, but he rose again. And because he lives, we can face tomorrow. Because he lives, we shall live also. Because he lives, when he comes, the saints shall hear his voice, and they will be raised up incorruptible, and they shall meet the Lord in the air, and we shall go home with him. Oh, I have one more quotation. 1 Corinthians 15:51. Paul says, behold, says, look, open your eyes and look. I shew you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, or at the last trumpet. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this corruption must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. Oh, so when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. Oh death, it's a taunt. We are taunting death. We are mocking death. In the name of Jesus, we are mocking death. Oh death, where is thy sting? Oh grave, where is thy victory? We have overcome you. In the name of Jesus. We have overcome death. We have overcome the grave. In the name of Jesus. And we shall dwell with the Lord forever and ever. Oh, brethren, that's why everybody need to know Jesus. That's why everybody need to know Jesus. So that when your dash is ended, you have a home in glory. That's why everybody need to know Jesus. So your dash is not the end of life. When your few days are over, you have eternity to look forward to. Can somebody say amen? Oh, Sister Perry lived by the faith of Jesus and died in the faith of Jesus. And we are told when the trumpet shall sound and the dead in Christ shall rise, first, we who are alive and remain shall be caught up together to meet the Lord in the air. So shall we ever be with the Lord. So comfort one another with these words. Let them ring in your ear, in your hearts. Let them ring in your ears and hearts and mind and souls until the morning when Jesus shall call and Bobsy shall rise and we shall be caught up together to meet the Lord in the air. Comfort one another with these words. Amen.
Isn't it comforting to know it? Isn't it comforting to know that when our loved ones live a Christ-like life, the speaker can speak with confidence, doesn't have to make up things. Thank you, Pastor Yankson. Let me take this opportunity that from myself on behalf of my family, the entire Hill family, want to express to the Perry and the Fagan family our deepest and sincere condolences to you and our sympathy. And when I say we'll continue to pray for you, it's not just a cliche. This is not the extent of our promise. We will keep you in prayers. And the Lord will do the rest for you. For the closing prayer, I'm going to ask if Pastor Chris Leslie is in the house. Please, Pastor.
I understand the time constraints, but I'd like to quickly say that when Elder Bobsy Perry, when she died, she was a member of Bridgeport Tabernacle Seventh-day Adventist Church. Mm-hmm. And I'd like the members of Bridgeport Tabernacle Seventh-day Adventist Church who are here just to raise your hands to be recognized. We are here very good. To support the family. So allow me just a few seconds to express our sincerest condolences. As a pastor of that congregation, I'd like to let you know that Sister Bobsy Perry, she served in various capacities, including treasury and as an elder. But her real passion was in prayer ministries. She was a prayer warrior for the Lord. And we appreciate the ministry and legacy she has left. And I agree with somebody who said earlier that her greatest desire, I believe it was one of her brothers, her greatest desire would be to see all of us who are here present, those who have not yet accepted Christ, to accept Jesus Christ as Lord and personal Savior. So I want to say to the family members, cast all your cares upon Jesus because he cares for you. Thank you so much, Pastor, for that word that served to buoy up the spirit of the family members and all God's people today. I'm going to invite everyone to stand except the immediate family members, everyone else except the immediate and extended family members, just to stand as I pray a prayer for the family. Bow your heads, everybody. Our time is short. Father, in the name of Jesus, I present to you the family of Elder Bob Zeperi. Some are weeping, some without the understanding that death doesn't have the final say. But I pray in the name of Jesus that based on the authority of the Word of God, the presentation from the man of God, what we're understanding now is that death will not have the final say. Because we believe Elder Perry, based on her faith, fell asleep in Christ. Oh God, we look forward to that day when you shall raise her to life eternal. In the meantime, I pray that every family member will receive the comfort in words of friends and well-wishers who call and pray. And even when our voices are hushed, when they are alone, they reflect on the life of Elder Bob Zeperi. When they need a comforting word, I pray that they will look to Jesus. You will whisper sweet words of comfort to them. And as they cast their cares upon you, O God, I pray that they will not weep as they are people without hope, but they will understand that our God whom we serve has never reneged on his promises. And he has promised that the trumpet shall sound and the dead in Christ shall be raised. Until that day, I pray that you will keep them in your comforting care. Thank you for hearing me. In Jesus' name, amen. God bless you, everybody.